This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I saw these ceramic stools on Pinterest and I can't stop thinking about them. Unfortunately, they are 7,700 euro. So we know what we're doing today, right? So I'm planning to coil this thing because number one, I can't throw that big. And number two, I want it to be really strong. Like coiling is usually made thicker than throwing, so therefore it's stronger. It's going outside, so it needs to be really strong to withstand, you know, temperature changes and all that. I also need to keep in mind the dimensions of my kiln so that it fits. My kiln is 35 tall and 40 wide. It's a small kiln. Basically, that's what we have to work with. It might be a small stool because 35 tall, that's a pretty low stool. It's fine. It can be a low stool. I'm still making a stool. It's gonna be a kid's stool. So to help me keep this looking somewhat regular, as I'm building up the coils, what I like to do is make cardboard templates for whenever I do big coil builds. The other thing, and I thought I was pretty clever when I came up with this, is that I'm going to build it upside down so that the top part of the stool is going to have been dried out for a little bit, so it has way less chance of sagging than if I were to put the slab on the top at the end when it was still fairly wet. I'm just doing this to avoid the drooping. The largest circle template that I have, and then this goes on top. This is like the selector tool. You can get these templates in all different shapes. I've got a few standard ones here, but mostly I just use the circle one for making coils. Easy. What I like to do when doing these kind of projects is make a bunch of coils at once. This is a whole bag's worth minus this part that I rolled out, so 10 kilo. And by putting them on a board with some plastic underneath it, I can easily wrap it up like this, and it's going to last probably, like, I would say up to a week. These coils will stay fresh enough. And the reason that I need them to stay fresh really long time is because this is going to be a slow project. So the way that I like to coil larger pots is just add a few coils at a time, 1 or 2 coils. That way, each level, like each coil, has a bit of time to dry in between. For me, it's way easier to make the piece hold its shape. So I'm gonna be using this and building up the coils one by one until I get to the top here. So I say today, let's just start with 1 coil, and then I'll come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and maybe add up to, like if I do 1 coil in the morning, 1 mid-afternoon, and 1 evening, I can do 3 coils a day, something like that. It's definitely a slow way of working, but honestly, like I've tried a few different ways of doing it and it's the way that I like the most. I don't mind working slow because I'm down here in the studio anyway, so I don't mind just like, I'll leave this in the corner of the table and I'll just like slowly build it up over the days. And it's really nice to see something grow like that over time, I think. I'm normally an impatient person, but with this somehow, I think it's fun to be a bit slow. Very important that each coil you add, each time you manipulate or thin out the coil, you check with your template to make sure you're following that curve. That's what we need. Okay, I know it looks very small, but this is the beginning of something glorious, but it's all I'm gonna do today. So I'm just gonna wrap these guys up. And then in the meantime, overnight, I'm going to at least put some cloth on this guy because, 12 hours or so goes by between coils here and it could get too dry out. But during the day, I'll just let it sit out in the open because the whole point is for it to dry out. See you guys tomorrow. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they are an all-in-one website that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out online. I've personally been using Squarespace pretty much ever since I started my online store, and I'm still using them today. There's a few things that I love about Squarespace, one of which is their memberships, which I use to host our very own template club, but you can use to create community, host courses, and other premium content. 2, they just launched a really cool AI feature called Design Intelligence that empowers anyone to build a beautiful, bespoke website tailored to your unique needs. And 3, once you have your online store, you have access to Squarespace Payments, which is super easy to set up and gives your customers more ways to pay with popular payment methods like Klarna, Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay. So if you're ready to take selling your pottery to the next level, or you're just looking for an online home for your art, I really recommend Squarespace because they make creating a beautiful website really easy. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Let's get back to the video. So I finished coiling. This took me quite some days, 4 or 5, I think. And I did have to go a little bit off script here. So I messed up something, I think, with the original size of the base, because if I went out actually all the way to the template that I made, it was going to be too big. Like, it was going to be too big to fit in my kiln. And I worry that it still is. It's like right on the edge. I'm hoping that also, I'm going to shave it back a little bit now, and then I'm hoping it will also shrink a little bit as it dries. So hopefully it's gonna fit in my kiln. And then I also need to place the nose strategically because I can't like put it here and have it project. I need this pot to be no wider than it currently is because otherwise it's not going to fit. It's always when making big projects like this that I wish I had a bigger kiln, but I don't know. It's also like nice to have a small baby kiln because I don't produce a ton. So yeah. First thing that I'm going to do is trim this so that it's all the same height. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna put it in my garden. So there's some leniency there. But I'll try and make it as flat as possible. Oh, let me cut a little bit more. It's right at 35. I don't wanna risk it. Okay, it looks good. So do we trust flipping it now? Is this gonna hold itself? Because this top part, of course, is like this part I coiled most recently. Down here is pretty good. Why don't we, let me flip it. I'll shave this part and then flip it back, shave this part. Yeah, because that will lighten up this side. Oh no, oh Jesus. Oh God. Ooh. Okay, wait, we go back. Oh no. Ooh, that was not good. Bad decision. It's like all distorted now. Oh no, it wasn't dry enough. I'm gonna have to come back in a few hours to do this, I think, because this just needs to dry. That was stressful. I'm just gonna let this sit, maybe even until tomorrow if I need to. And maybe in the meantime, I'm gonna wrap this guy up, wrap the bottom up so it's not getting too dried out. Okay, see you in a little bit. Good morning. It's the next day. It's a Saturday and it's a beautiful day outside. So my goal today is to get this done as quickly as I can so I can go outside and work in my garden. So the plan is to use my little shredder guy, shred him all smooth, and then I'll probably use a rib to smooth him out. That will also help it be a little bit thinner too. We're gonna take off a lot of clay today, and then we add the face and finish him up. I wanted to flip him. That was the idea, right? Let's flip. Hopefully he's not gonna collapse this time. So remember, this is going to be right side up now, so how do we feel about this shape? It's like, this is the mini version of what we're gonna make here. This process is so satisfying. Before I flip it again, I'm going to smooth the bottom part. And to do that, I like to use these ribs. This whole hand building technique, this technique of building large forms like this, I learned from the Appalachian potter, Melissa Weiss. And she recommends this red Mud Tools rib, which I bought because, she recommended it, but I actually don't like to use this one. I prefer the yellow Mud Tools rib. And if you don't know Mud Tools, the color of the rib defines how hard it is. So I love the yellow personally. I use the yellow for almost everything. I also really like the blue. I don't really use the red. It's too floppy for me. The hardest one is the green one, which I never use. Hey friends, I need to cut in here because this video was filmed quite some weeks ago now because of firing and production time. A lot of my videos are filmed weeks in advance. Since I was talking about mud tools and Appalachian potters, the entire mud tools facility was actually completely washed away by Hurricane Helene. And also Melissa Weiss, the potter I was talking about earlier, she also completely lost her studio. So as of now, I believe Melissa Weiss's GoFundMe is fully funded, which is great. I'm just looking right now. As of now, the Mud Tools GoFundMe is not fully funded. Mud Tools is such a cornerstone of the pottery community worldwide. Their tools are, top of the line, and they've been doing this for a really long time. And they're, a small family-run business. I even met one of the founders of Mud Tools at one point, and super wonderful, humble people. So I'm going to leave their GoFundMe down in the description of this video. If you love Mud Tools as much as I do, I just wanted to share this news with you if you haven't heard, and also give you opportunities to support the wonderful business that is Mud Tools. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to smooth out these shredding lines now with my yellow Mud Tools rib. And it's nice because it has a little bit of, so I can bend it to kind of match the shape. And this red one, I just feel like it's too floppy. It doesn't push as hard as I would like it to, so I use this guy. Someday I'm going to leave these shredding lines because I do think they look really cool. I don't think they look cool on this project, but in general I think they look kind of cool. I'm gonna leave them at someday. Got all of this. Okay, I'm gonna be brave. You can definitely still see, I tried to fix it, but you can definitely still see where I messed it up by turning it too early. It's fine, it's fine. That's all I am bothered to do. You can definitely still see some texture, but it's nice, isn't it? So, before I continue, I'm going to quickly check if this fits in the kiln, because if it doesn't, we have to do some more major renovations to this piece. So BRB, I'm gonna see. Oh no! It doesn't fit. Okay. I'm going to attempt a combination of slapping it and shredding more, because I can't make this too thin. I just can't shred it only. So I've got my wooden spoon here and I'm just gonna try and compress the sides. It's like a centimeter too wide. Okay, I think since it's close, I'm going to shred some more, and then that will also even this out. That is a workout. Should we try it again? Yes. Okay. Okay, it's like so close to fitting. It's just catching on the elements, which means I think I'm actually going to stop making it smaller now, because it is going to shrink. So I think that's fine. If it's just a few millimeters too big right now, once it shrinks as it dries, it will fit. That is my thought process. That is my goal. We'll see. We'll see if it actually fits. But I think that we can add the nose now. Like ideally I would make it like this, but that's just not gonna work. I mean, you can see from this guy, the nose sticks out a lot, which is what I would like to do, but I can't. Baby kiln problems. So I'm thinking I'll do it like really high up, so he'll be like looking up like this. Because if he's down here, that just looks weird. Because he's gonna be covered with grass up to probably here anyway. So So I always made noses in one very particular way. Make a little cone shape and then lay it on the table. And you want to work it into like a triangle shape. Like so. You could even put some water on your fingers and like rub it like that. Like so. Just making like a nice taper shape. Don't worry about the end yet. Oh, it needs to be so much smaller. Okay, and then you just find a nice spot. Definitely want to add some water here because this part has been drying the longest, right? So it's definitely firm. And then if you are struggling, like if something is quite dry and you're worried about attachments, something that you can always do is like score twice and, you know, slip once or slip twice. So I often will score and then add water to like loosen up the clay, and then I'll score again because the second score will be way deeper. And I don't know, I feel like it works. I feel like it helps anyway, especially when you're adding something like fresh clay. And then the other important thing to make sure this is a good attachment is we're gonna wrap it in plastic so it can homogenize before we let it dry. And I'm gonna press like this, like he's got a migraine. Should I make face cups again? Would that be like a nice thing to make for Christmas maybe? That was definitely when I made them. I mean, I don't make that much pottery to sell anymore anyway, but like when I made them, they were definitely like my best seller. I think I just got tired of being like the face mug lady. That really became a thing for a while. But in the meantime, we can add the eyes. So, thinking like something like this. For eyes, I pretty much always use drill bits. I like to have the clay be removed. I don't just want to press in the eye. I want it to be removed, so it's like thinner at that point. And then I also want it to be symmetrical. This might be too small. Hello. I mean, this looks nothing like my inspiration image, but it's my own thing. I don't mind the eyes being quite small, but I think since it's gonna be in the garden, I want it to be able to be seen from further away. Ta-da! Okay, so the plan next is I'm going to wrap this in plastic for 24 hours so that the nose can really nicely homogenize. I'm going to then unwrap it and maybe leave it for a few days under cloth, depending on how humid it is outside. And then I'll just let it dry. And I'm going to let this guy dry for at least a week, probably like more like a week and a half to 2 weeks, depending on how much time I have. I'm dealing with a few design constraints here, but I think it's fine. I think it looks cute for what it is. And I think it's gonna look hella cute in my garden. This could even be like a plant stand. I could make this and then just have like a little plant pot balancing on top. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit when he's dry. So I did something stupid. Wait, let me show you. My kiln elements aren't super old, but there's some points where they're sticking out here, and I was worried it would get in the way when I try and fit my stool in. So I was pushing up here and I broke it. I broke off a piece of my elements, which is annoying because if there's any broken piece of the elements, then the elements are completely kaput. Elements are not cheap, and I just destroyed mine, which sucks. But I bought a package of new ones, and I actually bought a backup pack because God love you, Rhoda, but you're not the fastest at shipping emergency supplies, and I actually had to do some rearranging with the video schedule because it took a little while for these to arrive. It's fine, but I definitely recommend having a backup pair. I always recommended that. I always knew that you should have a backup pair of elements, but this was not expected, but I am going to give you just a super brief demonstration on how to change your elements in the kiln because I think some of y'all might be intimidated by this. It's not hard at all, it's just annoying. First things first, unplug your kiln. Do not forget that step. We need to get into the electrical. I'm going to take a photograph of how everything looks in here because just want to make sure I put the right things in the right spots. So basically, all I need to do here is just unscrew the elements from in here and then I can pull them out the front. Now what I need to do is remove the pins in here that are holding the elements to the wall. So let me show you what a pin looks like. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but you can sort of see it. Like I said, it's not hard, it's just tedious. This is only the second time I've done this, by the way, so please don't use this as a tutorial. I'm not an electrician. Okay, so all that's left to do now is a ghost fire. So you need to fire the first kiln empty. If you noticed, these elements look a heck of a lot different than fired elements. That's because these elements need to oxidize first. I have no idea why they need to oxidize. Don't ask me, but that's why I've been told. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire this to the program that I'm gonna put up on the screen now. And then when it's done tomorrow, theoretically it should be good to go. This first firing, I'm going to keep a very close eye on, and I'm gonna be checking on it about every hour. I'm not going to fire it overnight. Yeah, just because I'm scared of electricity and I wanna make sure I did everything right. My elements are looking perfect. Please don't break, please don't break. Please don't break, where's the nose? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Fits. Should I put it here or should I put it in the garden? Because the bird feeder is right here, so I thought it might be kind of cute. Then I could sit next to my little plant babies. It's actually really comfy. Maybe if I put him here, he can guard my plants and keep away the aphids and the slugs. Let me know where you think I should put it. I love him. I don't know if that was clear enough. That's all for me today. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.